Hey everybody, welcome back to Strictly Casual. I think we are live right now. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well. Today, we're going to be breaking down everything you can expect from the MCU in 2022 and beyond. I'm very excited to be doing this stream. This is a project I've been working on for a little bit now, and I'm excited to dive into the MCU and what we can expect for the future. Of course, I am live right now, so if you're watching afterwards, feel free to become a member on the channel. Help support us here at Strictly Casual. Something new we just unlocked. Everybody, welcome in. Thank you so much for hopping in the chat. We have some great folks right here on the live stream. Of course, if you're watching the comments during the VOD, feel free to comment down below your thoughts, your theories, and as well as fill in some of the gaps, because I'm going to be covering a lot today when it comes to the MCU and what we can expect from the future. And I want you to kind of help me out with stuff that I left out, because I'm going to be covering a lot, but I'm also going to be covering kind of just the major things and trying my best to get into the minor stuff. But of course, there's so much projects planned that we can only see what I can cover today. But of course, let's get started. Let's get right in. We have a poll up right now. First thing doesn't sound like something anyone would be hyped for. Oh, Moon Knight. So I just put up a poll right now. We have future MCU projects you're most hyped for: Moon Knight, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Secret Invasion, or something else. Of course, those three are kind of my most hyped right now. We have Moon Knight. Someone just saying Moon Knight already. Okay, interesting. Okay. So let's get started here. We have some brand new scenes for you guys, kind of a slideshow. We have about 15 slides here for you guys. We're gonna be starting off with the MCU recap. All right, so basically I'm formatting this live stream like a video. So if you see that I'm not talking to chat as often, it's because, you know, we're kind of going through it. Okay, so this is from San Diego Comic-Con a few years back, kind of slating the phase 4. And for the most part, a lot of it isn't in the same order. Of course, we haven't seen Doctor Strange yet. They pushed that one back. But starting off, we have Black Widow. Now, Black Widow just recently, not recently, it was one of the first films to kind of kick off the MCU post-pandemic, right? We have the trailer here going. I hope I can play I'll be clicking in and out of the trailer. But Vinny, what's up? Emily, Bradley, Platinum 99, hello guys, how are y'all doing? Welcome in. So starting off with Black Widow, let's kind of talk about just briefly what we thought about the Black Widow film. Now, I think it was a somewhat good send-off. I thought they could have gotten a little more kind of a goodbye, a send-off to the Black Widow, but I think we got a little more of that in Hawkeye. I think there was more a mourning for Natasha and her character with, you know, Yelena and Hawkeye's character. But I do think it was pretty cool. The villains, I know, had a little bit of controversy because a lot of people didn't like the kind of the shift that Taskmaster had. There was some, you know, big reveals there. The villains were pretty cool. I did think the Red Room and kind of the finalization of taking down the Red Room was good for the arc of Black Widow, but I do think it was kind of overshadowed by Taskmaster and like how weird that was. I want Doctor Strange, but Moon Knight and Secret Invasion are close behind. Ooh, yeah. Doctor Strange is definitely the most hype for me. Black Widow forgettable, Bradley says. Yeah, Black Widow is definitely, you know, one of the, it's like it's an action film, but I wouldn't say it's like as crazy as Marvel's gotten. You know, it's a little more grounded, of course, but it definitely does a good job to kind of, I'm glad that at least Scarlett Johansson got her send off and she got her own film to, you know, be the Black Widow. You know, she deserves it. She's one of the original 6. But of course, Taskmaster, you know, you can have your opinion. Taskmaster is kind of cool, but I think that there's some more potential for Taskmaster, hopefully in the future, which we will get in. So we have Black Widow, kind of the send off. You know, Natasha, of course, died in Endgame. We all know. Pretty sad. And so we have Evie saying Sam Raimi is the biggest reason. Oh, for Doctor Strange. Yes, of course, Sam Raimi. We're going to get into Doctor Strange today as well. Same with Hawkeye, forgettable. Yeah, I really enjoyed Hawkeye. I would say Hawkeye is one of my more favorite Disney Plus series. For sure. Let's see. I haven't been feeling good this week. Sinus, ears, fever, and coughing. Oh, Emily, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, that is no fun. That is no fun for anybody to go through. I'm sorry. I hope you get better soon. But I'm starting to feel better. That's good. That's good to hear. All right, continuing on here, we have the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Oh, actually, no, sorry. The first Disney Plus series. Well, that's right. The first Disney Plus series that came was actually WandaVision, following kind of the same era. WandaVision was probably one of the most, you know, it changed the game. It was the start of the Disney Plus era as we know it, right? WandaVision was definitely fun. I just realized I had the chat over my face. Let's see. Let me move this here just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so WandaVision. I know a lot of people, they say this is their favorite show. A lot of people, they talk, you know, great things about this show. I think they did good to kind of change the game with doing the television and kind of the episodic series of what WandaVision was. I do think it sets up a little bit for Doctor Strange. I wouldn't say as far as say as it's a prequel. I would say that now we're going to have some context in the Doctor Strange film with the new trailer that we've seen. I watched Eternals the other day at 6 out of 5 out of 10. Loved Eternals. Oh yeah, Eternals is now on Disney Plus if you haven't known, so definitely check it out. WandaVision was fun. It was a good one. It was definitely fun to speculate, and I think that's why I give the rating for WandaVision, you know, whatever it is. I don't think I have an exact number, but I do think it was fun to speculate kind of the whole Mephisto and everything about, you know, what's going on in the show, and that's part of the fan experience. You know what I mean? I think that's part of it. And then up next we have Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which followed that, right? Yeah, I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yeah, Falcon and the Winter Soldier was, I think it was great. I know a lot of people put this one as their bottom one. I probably would put, in comparison to Wanda and Loki and Hawkeye, Falcon and the Winter Soldier is probably a little below them. But that is not to say that they're still not, the show is still not amazing. It's still an amazing show. We had, you know, the leader of the Avengers, Captain America. Sam Wilson is now Captain America. I think it was great for him to evolve and him to earn the shield, and in his own way, you know, especially in the world that we live in now and kind of what's going on. It was perfectly timed. I think it was released at a perfect time, and I think that it was well done. And I think the buddy comedy between him and Bucky was really well done. And I'm excited to see the future on where Captain America and Bucky go on in the movies. I know we're getting a Captain America film. So that's something you can look forward to. But yeah, I also heard that they're saying he's gonna really earn it. He's gonna really earn it. So did Thor get pushed back and multiverse get pulled up? I would say they both got pushed back. You know what I mean? Because this is from like years ago. This if you're talking about this photo right here, this photo is many years ago. This was their initial plan, right? And so a lot of it was pushed out of the way. Look, WandaVision was pushed to the front, Falcon after that, Doctor Strange was pushed way back, and stuff like that. You know? Yeah, but Thor: Love and Thunder is definitely pushed a little bit. All of them definitely made another shift. I think recently, within the past like 3 months, I would say all of Marvel kind of shifted back. They shifted back their release dates. That's a good thing Kevin Feige talked about, is that they have all these plotted release dates, right? They have them selected, let's say March, May, July, November, right? So even though you have March, May, July, November, you may have Thor, Black Panther, and Guardians. You could just shift them one over, and it's, you know, instead of March, May, June, it's May, June, November, or July. You know what I mean? So I think that's the kind of the cool thing about their organization, and they're planning ahead. They're always planning ahead. I didn't hate it. A lot of people, but I didn't love it either. For me, anything above 6 is something you're willing to watch again. Oh, okay. Interesting. Moon Knight can control Thor's hammer in the comics. Oh, Bradley. Oh, maybe we'll see some of that hint of him being worthy. Maybe. This was 2019, but like, yeah, this was quite a waste. This was 2019 for sure. Okay, and then we have one of my favorite films, probably top 10 MCU films, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Now, I cannot tell you the amount of hype that I had for this film when it was coming up. That's been a hand fart. Sorry. Shang-Chi was such a great film, and it delivered for me to make a origin story that felt different. It felt different enough that from the MCU that we've seen before, but it still had the formula of the three arc phase, and I think that's always great for me. I like the formula, you know, don't change it if it ain't broken. But yeah, the 10 Rings is cool. There's definitely set up there with the Masters of the Mystic Arts, you know, with Wong and even Abomination possibly leading into She-Hulk. So the Shang-Chi is really cool because it's very on its own in its own world, very much separate, but there's so many different little pins here that go across to the MCU. It was great. Simu Liu, of course, we're getting a sequel confirmed. Destin Daniel Cretton is confirmed to return as director, so that's pretty exciting. Definitely incredibly hyped for the sequel. I mean, it's one of my favorite films in all the MCU. And then up next we have, after the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Falcon, we had Loki, I believe, right? We had Loki that premiered, and Loki changed the game. Loki is definitely dabbling into the multiverse, and I think he kind of opened up the palettes for everybody to say, this is what the multiverse is, and now you're ready for Spider-Man, and then now you're extra ready for Doctor Strange. And so I think this is their like experiment. And now, even with the confirmation of season 2, I think we're going to dive into it even more with possible cameos, and maybe even getting more into Kang and what that can mean. I know Ant-Man and the Wasp is confirmed to have Kang the Conqueror. That'll be pretty crazy. Shang-Chi is my second favorite project of the MCU phase so far. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I would say so for me too. As of now, oh, well, you know what? I forgot Spider-Man. I would think Spider-Man is always, of course, number one, but Shang-Chi is the close second. But yeah, Loki definitely changed the game. I'm glad Tom Hiddleston, if you guys are watching the behind the scenes on Disney Plus, Tom Hiddleston is definitely enjoying himself doing this project. He's diving into it. He knows so much about the MCU and Loki's character. And I think he's really just getting to experiment and flex his acting chops with this role. And I think you know, give him more freedom. Just give him all the freedom to do what he wants. You know, Loki was great, and I'm looking forward to season 2 with Owen Wilson hopefully coming back, and of course Sylvie, fan favorite for a lot of people. I see a lot of cosplay for these characters, and it's pretty cool. And then we had What If that released, the first animated show from the Marvel Studios production, which was, I think it was great. You know what I mean? They had a good attempt. It was fun. It was different. And of course, this is like all in multiverse. I completely forgot. Loki was the palette, you know, opener. Then What If was like, this is it. This is the multiverse. What if all the Avengers died? What if, you know, the Doctor Strange went bad, you know? And some of this stuff is even bleeding into the live action films, which we didn't think would happen, but it's happening. Moon Knight and Kang fought too, which is pretty interesting in comics. Oh yeah, see, that's the cool thing about all the comics, and that the source material for the Disney Plus series and these films, you can pull all of that and kind of make your own interpretation for it. So that's what's really great about this. So with What If, there was definitely the Watcher Iwatu, I think his name is. A lot of people loved What If. A lot of people love the show, and I really enjoyed the Watcher and his kind of take on the whole multiverse. And now he's the guardian of the multiverse. We might see him in Doctor Strange. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt. But definitely was fun. It was cool to see the animation. It was something different for me. And while I'm not too fond of really animation in general, it's definitely got me going, just because it's like the voices, all the voices have returned. It's the original voice act cast with some major differences, like Spider-Man and I think Iron Man here and there are a bit different, but it is what it is. So What If was great. And then we have more films. Eternals came out in November of last year. Now this one was controversial. I think it was one of the worst rated MCU films, which was kind of interesting because there's this thing, especially on Twitter, whenever a film comes out negative, I think without anybody seeing it with their own opinion, they kind of jump on what that was, you know? And so I think there was a lot of overdone hate for it that wasn't really necessary. I don't think this film deserves as much hate as it got. I would say this film is all right. It's definitely, you know, like a 6 or 10, or, you know, 6 out of 10. It's definitely it's a good film. It's a good film, but I definitely say if you haven't seen it, check it out, voice your own opinion on it. I showed my father this film, and he was like, oh, this is great. I really enjoyed this. And for me, if his opinion was I really enjoyed it, then okay, I'm all for it. I think Chloe Zhao as a director in the MCU, one of the best choices they could have. And I say keep it going, keep introducing more directors that, you know, that have a different style and have a different taste than the formula that we know. And I think they were trying to do something different, and you could see that they're trying the attempt there, that they're trying to stray away from the formula with the cinematography and the editing and the vibe that they're going for. And I think that we'll see more and more of it in the future films, hopefully, especially like with Thor. Thor Love and Thunder seems to be something pretty crazy, something different. Yeah, it was review bomb. Thank you, Bradley. It was. It's not bad, just over mid. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. It's not a bad film at all. Ever since the Loki finally, I've been seeing people referring to the TVA, not stepping in on shows like What If and movies like No Way Home is a plot hole I've seen. Absolutely. Part 2 finale. I think the statues of Kang indicate that the TVA is in some way different from the TV version of the TVA we saw in Loki. And my theory is that we aren't pruning timelines but concrete. Oh, absolutely. Good point. Absolutely. Yes, I think that is what exactly is happening. They're not just deleting the timelines, they're just conquering all these different timelines, and Kang is ruling them. Part 3 of them, and that's why we haven't seen them yet. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And there is a little bit of a plot hole in why we're not seeing the TVA in some of these films, but I think it's hard to kind of, you know, put all that together. And I think they're kind of like, there's separate stuff going on, but I think that Feige is going to figure out a way to kind of mesh it all and blend it well in a better way. And we might see that at D23, which I'll get into in a little bit. Let's wrap up here. So then we had Hawkeye. Hawkeye came out during the Christmas season, and I think it was the best thing that had going for it. You know, the Christmas vibe and kind of that I'll be home for Christmas story cliche that we've seen for Christmas films was perfect for this. And I think it worked well. It was very grounded. It had hints of Daredevil, it had hints of the Marvel's Netflix shows that we've seen. Of course, it didn't go as far as something as great as Daredevil, but it definitely was on the surface level, very great. And I think Kate Bishop is a fantastic introduction to the Marvel universe, and I'm so excited to see her, hopefully with the Young Avengers, which we'll get into as well. But yeah, Hawkeye had some closure. He had some more development, which, you know, a lot of people, we might not like Hawkeye. He's a very, you know, minor character in the core Avengers team. Doesn't have that many powers, but he definitely is a cool hero. And I think that, you know, he has his own strengths and he has his own weaknesses that he goes through. And this show definitely dived into both of them. The villains were all right. Of course, you know, I think, you know, these shows are more to focus on the heroes the show is named after than more so the villains and the antagonists. That's crazy how people are more interested in Moon Knight so far more than Doctor Strange. Moon Knight is coming up close, and with the trailer released, I think a lot of people, especially us, the Strictly Casual, we're very excited for that. So stay tuned. Hopefully we'll get some watch parties for that show, because I'm very excited to check that out. That show is very high up on my list. And then of course in December we had Spider-Man No Way Home. We already know it made $1 billion, greatest movie of all time. big cameos, big story beats, and the future of Spider-Man is gonna be great. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But yeah, I mean, come on, I don't even need to say anything about Spider-Man. You already know. We're still hyped. Was dope. Oh, it was dope. Yeah, Hawkeye was dope. It was definitely fun checking it out. And they had the big reveal of Kingpin. I mean, come on, Kingpin is here. And of course, with Daredevil, I mean, spoilers. I mean, everyone's seen Spider-Man at this point, especially I know people in my chat. And if you're watching this video, Moon Knight's 27 million views, just 4 million shy of Doctor Strange trailer. Yeah, so Moon Knight was apparently the most viewed trailer of the Disney Plus series, I want to say. So just to say, Moon Knight is more hyped than maybe Loki and WandaVision. Pretty crazy. Okay, moving on now. That's our kind of a recap. So here's the future. Here's what's going on. Phase 4 and beyond. This is what we have. Now, of course, I have here, not all are mentioned. These are not all the future MCU products because there's so many projects coming. But of course, we have Moon Knight coming up soon. Now, that is starring Oscar Isaac. Something very exciting. I didn't know the character Moon Knight, he struggles with something called DID, I think, which is dissociative identity disorder. So he has multiple identities, kind of like Split with James McAvoy, if you've seen that film. He struggles with multiple personalities. So we see in the trailer when he's trying to buckle himself in there to the bed. Let's see. I think I have the trailer here, right? Right, the trailer here. He's there messing around. He's taping the door. He's locking the door, and he's buckling himself in because when when his other personality unlocks, perhaps it's some monster or some other being that he doesn't want. And we see with the imagery, there's like 3 versions of him. Of course, this version is like, "Hello, my name is Steven." You know, he's talking all like with the accent. His name is Mark Spector. Well, one of the main characters of Moon Knight is Mark Spector. So that's why it's pretty cool when someone calls him on the phone. Mark Spector is a really deadly assassin. He's like an assassin. So it's pretty crazy how this guy is kind of like a hermit, kind of awkward, you know, to himself in a museum. But his alter, identity, Mark Spector, is a really like well-equipped guy. So I'm very interested to see how he changes. And I think we're only seeing like episode 1 or 2, one identity. And he's going to make a switch like James McAvoy, Split, and he's going to be like a whole different person. And I think he's going to do really good at it. But yeah, so of course we have some imagery of the Egyptian god that kind of is inside of him, kind of the Moon Knight character. And yeah, this is really delving deep into kind of the darker side of the MCU. We've seen it already in the post-credit scenes of Eternals, Black Knight, and we've seen it with the hint of Mahershala Ali's voice as Blade. They're setting up hopefully some Illuminati maybe, which is a team in the comics, or something darker with some spiritual kind of creatures like Werewolf. Werewolf by Night is a Halloween special, apparently confirmed for next year. This year, Halloween actually. So we'll see what comes with that. Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. There were so many cameos. We'll get into Doctor Strange in just a little bit. Thor Love and Thunder, new film, the 4th film for any character right now. We've never had a 4th film for any Marvel character, and I think that this is all new territory. It's new grounds. Who knows what could happen at this point, considering the 3rd film is usually the finale and kind of the breaking of the character. Tony Stark lost his arc reactor. Thor lost his hammer. Spider-Man lost his everything, his family and his friends. Thor already lost everything. So it's up to kind of Thor to kind of team up with the Guardians and kind of get into some wild territory with Gore the God Butcher and maybe some weird imagery. And who knows what kind of the story beats are. We know Valkyrie's going to be in it. We know Jane Foster is going to be Thor now. Jane Foster, Natalie Portman, is returning. She's going to be Thor in her own way. Of course, that happened in the comics. She had the hammer. But yeah, who knows? What's the story? What's the purpose? This could possibly be the end of Thor. We could see Thor pass in this film. So mentally prepare yourself. That's not coming for a little bit. Yes, thank you, Nashu, how I pronounced the Egyptian god from Moon Knight. Armor Wars, another exciting one. This is, of course, starring Don Cheadle. Now, this is going to be a Disney Plus series coming. This was announced on Disney Plus Day. Now, this is going to be, basically, it's going to be about the armor of Tony Stark kind of getting into the wrong hands, which I love. I think for me, that is just what I feed off of when it comes to Marvel, is like Easter eggs. So like when they open up a case and it says hammer, and you're like, oh, it's just a hammer. Or when it says this is Stark tech, it's like, oh my gosh, Tony's dead, but his tech is still out in the world, So it's pretty cool that Don Cheadle is going to be working, trying to save Tony Stark's legacy. We might even see Ironheart make an appearance. I don't doubt that, because she's going to be kind of the next Iron Man, maybe for the young Avengers. We'll see. But yeah, definitely Armor Wars, because it's anything Iron Man, one of my favorite characters in the Marvel Universe right now. And then Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Now, James Gunn has recently been talking on Twitter about this will be the last time we see the Guardians together, which is pretty sad to hear. I don't think that this will be the last time we see them maybe in the MCU. I think maybe in an Avengers film, perhaps. But this could possibly be the end where they say, hey, we're done with being a team. we could see some deaths. I think we've heard rumors of Drax kind of passing already. And all I know is James Gunn is gonna bring his A game for this. After watching Peacemaker on DC on HBO Max, I highly recommend Peacemaker. Phenomenal show. James Gunn always has this thing of making you love characters that don't think that they should be loved. You know what I mean? You don't think they deserve it, but he always does it. She-Hulk, which is we've only seen a couple clips, like probably 10 seconds worth of this show. Of course, She-Hulk is the cousin to Bruce Banner. We've seen the trailer. She's a lawyer, and I think we could possibly see Daredevil. I think there's rumors of Daredevil making an appearance. We also have rumored appearances of the Abomination. And so it's going to get into court cases and kind of saving heroes and breaking the fourth wall. And I think they could be experimenting with the fourth wall breaks in this show to set up Deadpool, kind of how Deadpool would work in the MCU now. Let's see, we have right here. I imagine Sony will announce MCU Spider-Man 4 at the end of this year, beginning my guess based on the Spider-Man pattern every 2 years. Yeah, true. Another Spider-Man film may be coming soon, possibly based on how they're kind of working with Toby or Andrew or Tom and what appearances could come. But I think Tom Holland definitely is going to come back. I think he's just trying to get a bigger paycheck. I personally think that, which I don't blame him. Get your bag, dude. Okay, up next, Secret Invasion. Now, we've seen one photo. We've seen some leaked set photos already on Secret Invasion. This show will hopefully shake up the Marvel Universe. I don't know how, considering it's just a Disney Plus series. I hope that it really, really dives deep into who's a Skrull, who's this, who's not, and the speculation of it, almost like WandaVision was. Now, we've seen the photo of Nick Fury. He has the beard. He looks great. He has the eye scar. He looks great. And I think we have other characters like Emilia Clarke. We have some other huge cast. Olivia Colman, I believe, some insane Academy Award nominee actors and actresses in this show. Is, you know, big cast, and we only speculate on who is going to be a Skrull and who will not be. Let's see, continuing on here, Ironheart. We talked about Ironheart before. Riri Williams, of course. Ironheart, the Iron Man suit, we don't know too much about the story, gets into the hands of this person, and we do see her in the Black Panther set photos, so she will be in Black Panther. Don't know too much about the character, but I have to look up some more back story on Ironheart. Definitely excited for anything Iron Man. Plus, we have confirmed over 25 unannounced Marvel titles. Unannounced Marvel titles coming, and my guess is the reveal is going to be during D23 this September for Disney Plus, as well as for the films. Now, D23 we'll get into because that's happening this September. Moving on now, Doctor Strange and the Focus, what I was talking about earlier. In the comics, the Illuminati are basically a team of kind of darker Avengers. I say, well, not really Iron Man, but it's more like we have Namor, Doctor Strange, I think Bolt, I believe that is, Mr. Fantastic, Iron Man, and Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier. But the Illuminati are kind of being set up here with Moon Knight, Blade, Doctor Strange, Black Knight. And there's different iterations of the Illuminati in the comics, and I think that we could see possible maybe Disney Plus series or even a film. You know, I think that they're definitely setting up some stuff that we have no idea what's going to happen. But the Illuminati is definitely a concept that I think they're setting up. It's darker, it's grittier, and I think that with this mystical element in the spiritual realm, you could definitely dive into that for sure for live action. You can see the hints already. Moving on now, this is of course the Doctor Strange kind of rumored cameos. Now, this is all, take this all with a grain of salt. This is all rumored. Nothing to be true, but it's pretty crazy to think that we might possibly be getting something like this. Tobey Maguire apparently is already confirmed, which I don't want to take anything unless it's confirmed by Marvel themselves. Wesley Snipes is Blade, Hugh Jackman Wolverine, Tom Cruise is an Iron Man variant. Now that one is insane to me because for those of you that call back, Iron Man was going to be Tom Cruise back in like 2007. It was like rumored, and then Robert Downey Jr. of course got casted, but like that is super meta to have Tom Cruise be Iron Man. Like, I think people will already freak out that it's Tom Cruise, but the fact that there'll be an extra amount of surprise when you know why is very exciting for me. Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider. I'm all in for this one. I love Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider. He's great. Ian McKellen as Magneto. I mean, come on. That'd be so cool. Patrick Stewart as Professor X. Still want to cover him real quick. And even Mr. Fantastic, the original actor that played him. Let's see. What's his name? Lone. Yeah, Lone Gruffard, I believe. Lone. I think Lone, right? Is that his name? If I'm butchering that, I'm sorry. Please correct me in the comments. But I really like his version of Mr. Fantastic. People were even saying John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic as maybe a cameo. Thomas Jane is the Punisher. Of course, the original from the film. I wouldn't mind seeing John Bernthal. John Bernthal returned from the Netflix series. John Bernthal was phenomenal as phenomenal, like the dream Punisher I can have. And even Ed Norton as Bruce Banner, which would be super cool, super meta. I'd be like, yeah, great, you recast him, but you brought him back, that's awesome. Halle Berry as Storm, James Marsden as Cyclops, like any of the X-Men really. I think Wolverine is like a huge one. People are really on about Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Let's see, Evie says, you know what would be interesting, because I don't think an old man like 70 plus years old version of Spider-Man has been explored, but let's say it's 2052, the 50th anniversary of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 1. Oh, that would be cool. Like an older gritty version, kind of like Logan, but for Spider-Man. But yeah, so we have Wesley Snipes as Blade. That would be kind of crazy, because we would freak out on Blade, but then when we see the actor, it's like, passing the torch down to Mahershala. And of course, yeah, that's it. Okay, so that's some of the cameos. Of course, Kevin Feige at this point is like, let's just put everyone in this film. You know, we need everyone to be in Doctor Strange, and I'm all for it. I want to rely on the cameos for this film, and I think it's going to get nuts, so you can fully expect it to be a crazy theater experience. That's 100%. Okay, now, potential villains, I think, in the Marvel Universe that are coming. Of course, we have right here Doctor Doom on the right. Now, I think with the Fantastic Four, and I think with the potential setup of the Stark Tower, who bought it, I think the Baxter Building, all that, I think Doctor Doom is a huge villain that a lot of people want. A lot of people really want Doctor Doom in the universe, and he's a great villain. I've never really understood the extent to his power, so of course, let me know in the comments, how far does his power go? You know, because I want to know, I want to get into it. Galactus, of course, the big bad, the one that can hold the planet in his hand. I think we're already seeing hints of that in Eternals with the Celestials and how their vastness and the effort to show how big they are and their power. I think that's kind of opening us to the imagery of what Galactus could be and what he could, you know, represent. And I think Galactus is something that we could see as kind of an Avengers 5, Avengers 6, maybe 10, 20 years down the line, like a big bad. But of course, right now, I do think Kang the Conqueror will be our big bad for now. We have Loki season 2, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. A lot of people, this was a theory that came out recently, and it was on Twitter, and I thought it was great. Doctor Strange could end on a cliffhanger where Kang he traps him in the quantum realm, and now Ant-Man and the Wasp have to save him. And I was like, that's kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool if we see some huge cameos from Ant-Man and the Wasp. Of course, you know, I always say cameos, but to reiterate, to clarify, it represents more of world building. I think cameos are world building. I don't think it's really cameos at this point. The comics are intertwined. The Marvel Universe is intertwined. It's not really a cameo of one character. It's more of world building and evolving of the genre of what it means to be a comic book film. So yeah, that's what I mean. Kang the Conqueror, I definitely think is interesting. Interesting as all get out. I mean, he has time travel, and he goes throughout different multiverses, and I think that this is what they're setting up for right now. Jonathan Majors is a phenomenal actor. I think it's a great choice for Kang, and I'm interested to see how they do kind of the iconic look with the blue face, the purple helmet, the suit. Maybe they go back in time. But yeah, definitely some future villains. Let me know what villain you would want to see in the comments. I mean, there's some powerful villains, and I think they're setting up some powerful heroes as well. Of course, we can't forget Mephisto. I think at this point, people have been wanting Mephisto for a long time, and it's kind of getting overdone. Mephisto needs to happen. I think they're listening, and I think we'll probably get it in some fan service type of way. Mephisto is coming, no doubt. Moving on now, we have the future of Spider-Man. Let's focus more on a hero that a lot of people love, myself included. Very beloved character, one of the biggest Marvel characters of all time, Spider-Man. Where is his future? It's kind of uncertain following the ending of No Way Home. We don't know where he's going to end up. But one thing is for sure, there's a lot that could possibly happen in the future for a new trilogy. And with what Sony wants to do, we have, of course, here Carnage, which, you know, Venom, the Venom symbiote, which was teased at the end of No Way Home to be going on Tom. And I think that's set up what they're going to do. Seeing a darker Tom Holland as Spider-Man, we kind of saw that when he's like talking to Green Goblin, I just want to kill you myself. He was getting into it, and I can't wait to see him kind of go down the darker path, because this is Spider-Man where he has nobody. He has no family. He has no friends. He's on his own, and there would be nobody to save him, but that's the point. He gets the Venom, and it's his choice to kind of take that off and become a better man because of it. We have, of course, Morbius. Now, the Sonyverse is doing their own thing, probably setting up a Sinister Six. There are rumors of a Sinister Six film with Aaron Taylor Johnson as Kraven the Hunter. We still have Scorpion, Vulture. We will see, you know, hopefully Vulture in this Morbius film. It's very interesting because in the trailer, the Morbius film, we see Raimi's Spider-Man on a poster, but then Oscorp from Andrew Garfield's universe, but then also the Vulture from Tom's. So I want to see Morbius just to see where it is, like what makes sense of it all. You know what I mean? So Unfortunate for the delays, but I will see it definitely day one to see what's the post-credits scene. Are they setting up Sinister Six? I think they're kind of figuring that out and waiting to see. Miles Morales, of course, live action Miles Morales would be very exciting. I think we're not going to get live action Miles as Spider-Man, though. I do think we will see an actor playing Miles, and that might not happen for 3-4 movies down the line, because I think, you know, a lot of people have said this. Sony is enjoying animated Spider-Man Miles. Animated Miles is their bread and butter right now. The Into the Spider-Verse, Academy Award-winning film. Across the Spider-Verse coming out 2 parts. That film's gonna blow everybody away, and I think they're really enjoying doing Miles as animated right now. But I don't think that they don't want to introduce a live-action Miles. I don't think they're gonna do him as Spider-Man yet. They're waiting for Tom to kind of wrap up his another trilogy, and then he'll probably pass down the torch, and Miles will be seen as Spider-Man probably 3 or 4 movies down the line. I don't, you know. And then of course we have multiple Spider-Men, Spider-Women. I think this is Madam Web, I want to say. I don't know. But I do think that, you know, correct me, please, who this character is right above me. Yeah, right above me. But I do think we're going to see more Spider-Man. More Spider-Man, more Spider-Women. Gwen Stacy as Spider-Man. Live action. More animated films, more spin-offs. I think that with Sony, they're going to try and, you know, milk everything that they have with the Spider-Man franchise. I don't doubt it. So definitely look forward to more Spider-Man. I don't think we're getting... Tom Holland's going to come back 100%. And I think even Andrew might even come back. I think he's already signed a contract. I 100% think he's already signed a contract, and we'll see what comes from him. Now moving on now, more team-ups. Potential future team-ups that I think, of course, the Young Avengers. And I think this has been set up. I mean, they're just introducing so many young characters as characters in the comics that we know and love. Isaiah Bradley, as you know, one of the Caps. We have a new Cassie Lang to be in the Ant-Man film. Wiccan and Speed from WandaVision. Kate Bishop, you know, Kid Loki. So many setups in different shows and movies and properties that I think it will build up to a film or a Disney Plus series. This is the cast right now. This is not like, this isn't confirmed. This is just the cast of what we have so far. Even Shoshi Gomez, I believe is her name. I probably butchered that, as America Chavez, who can kind of open up portals and go throughout realities. Now we have, of course, the 2 actors that play Wiccan and Speed. There have been potential leaks of like an older version of them. I don't know, not sure. Kate Bishop, of course, Haley Steinfeld, Cassie Lang, Isaiah Bradley above me, and the actor that plays Kid Loki. Wait, let me move this over here. Yeah, Kid Loki and Isaiah Bradley. So like, there's a huge, this is a team right here. This is an awesome team. And after Kate Bishop or Cassie, or like, there's some leaders here that we're seeing already. Evie saying, I think Miles will be set up in MCU Spider-Man 6. And here's the kicker. We get he's training Miles to become Spider-Man, and he dies or retires at the end. Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly probably what will happen. Definitely, you know, that's been rumored and theorized up the wazoo. The trilogy, and Miles gets his own movie after that. Yeah, Miles would probably get his own trilogy after that. But right here, the potential future team up, Young Avengers, is probably coming. I mean, with this phenomenal cast of actors and this amazing characters, it's only a matter of time. And I think we will hear some announcements very soon. Okay, Young Avengers, there they are from the comics. Moving on now, more team ups. Thunderbolts. Now, a lot of these, this is a photo I got online. Now, I don't think a lot of these characters are going to be in the Thunderbolts, but it's definitely fun to speculate. We have, of course, on my right here, you're right, Taskmaster. We still have Taskmaster that's out there. I believe she's alive. I believe so. I don't know. We have to see. Ghost Rider, don't know about that. Yelena, we have, of course, Baron Zemo still in the Raft prison. Bucky Barnes, I don't know about that. U.S. Agent, that's probably confirmed. Maybe Justin Hammer. I would love to have Justin Hammer come back. Abomination, probably, maybe. I do think that Valentina Contessa de Fontaine is her name. Valentina. She's setting up a whole world, a whole team right here. Ghost, that would be a cool callback if they bring back Ghost. And I don't know about Deadpool. Deadpool probably won't be in. But Thunderbolts is probably going to happen. They're, of course, what are the Thunderbolts? The Thunderbolts are kind of the Marvel's version of the Suicide Squad. They're a team comprised of kind of supervillains in the Marvel universe, kind of going anti-heroes. And we saw that with U.S. Agent in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series. So I think that they're probably setting, as well as Red Hulk. We do have some rumors that Thunderbolt Ross will be the Red Hulk, maybe. So that will probably be someone else that joins the Thunderbolt team. I think we're going to get Thunderbolts, probably, maybe just a filler as a series, maybe. We'll see. And up next, when will we see the Avengers again? Of course, my big question that I want to ask, the Avengers are the big team ups. The Avengers is the culmination And I think D23 will probably be the answer to that question, because we're leading up to something. We're still starting off. We're still kind of spreading open the Marvel universe, branching off into different realities, different storylines. How is it all going to connect? Now, I think that there was going to be a call to these heroes to kind of don the suit once more, to honor all the fallen heroes. Black Widow, Thor, Iron Man, Cap. I mean, except for Bruce Banner, they're all gone essentially. Hawkeye's probably done, retired. It's up to Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, Spider-Man, probably not Spider-Man, but you know, the new Captain America, Sam Wilson, Bucky, and all these new heroes that we're seeing. Wanda probably has to suit up. Captain Marvel especially, you know, to kind of don the suits and say, hey, we need to team up again like the original did, and save the universe, save all the realities once more. But definitely, it's fun to speculate. Excuse me, sorry, geez. Maybe a Young Avengers versus Thunderbolts. Yeah, see, Evie makes a great point. The Young Avengers could fight the Thunderbolts, and it could be like this big team up for Disney Plus, which we have yet to see, right? Like a big kind of Avengers level series. That would be pretty cool. But I think the Avengers will come back eventually. I do think Avengers 5 is going to happen, but probably not for a long time. Maybe the end of Phase 5. But continuing on here, D23 is happening. Now, to close off the show for tonight, I think all these questions and all this speculation we have, all this is going to be answered pretty soon at D23. Now, this is a photo from Kevin Feige doing a panel at D23, which is the fan expo that happens bicentennially every 2 years. But of course, with COVID, now it's been like 3 years. But it's happening. I have my tickets. I will be there this September in Anaheim, the convention center. It is probably the biggest convention you can possibly imagine. It's right now with San Diego Comic-Con not happening. This is the next best thing. This is probably at better because they're saving all their goodies for this show. Marvel's gonna announce their titles. Star Wars, Disney Plus, the theme parks they're gonna show off what their plans are. But we could possibly see, you know, future titles. Of course, here is the show floor, kind of where we can see future costumes, hints, reveals, concept art, teases. And I think it's very exciting to know that once D23 happens, this is of course back in 2019, we will be getting some huge reveals. Fully expect that, and definitely stay tuned because I will be covering it all live from the show floor, D23 in Anaheim. I will be in attendance. I think we'll get 9 Avengers film because of the Secret Wars trilogy that I mentioned earlier. Oh, Secret Wars trilogy, yeah, that could be pretty wild. That could be a insane endeavor, but they could do it. They did kind of a two-parter with Infinity War and Endgame, even though they were separate. But I do think that D23, stay tuned. Lots of big reveals will be coming. Stay excited for that. But yeah, that's basically it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the Marvel Universe, somewhat. Just a small little piece of the pie for 2022 and beyond. Definitely let me know what you thought. Comment, let's talk about this. Let's speculate. There's so many reveals, so many titles and projects that seem so vastly different, and it makes you wonder how they're going to intertwine and connect. But I think that's what's exciting because they have this all planned out. They have it all planned out, and I have total faith in Marvel to not let us down. You know what I mean? I think it's at this point they're not letting us down, but they're definitely I think they're saving some stuff for, you know, some big shows like D23. And there's some big reveals probably going to come soon. So definitely looking forward to the Illuminati, maybe with the darker side of the Marvel Universe, and recap Thunderbolts, Young Avengers, and some other team-ups that we could see, as well as some other solo characters that we probably don't know of. There's probably a lot of characters like Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock could be a huge Avenger that kind of saves everyone. Who knows? There's a lot of stuff here, definitely. Here in the channel, we just unlocked membership. So if you want to support us here on the channel, definitely become a member, and you get access to full podcast episodes and some more awesome little goodies there for you guys. But yeah, we also have a video of top 10 Marvel theories. If you want to, you know, hear some more theories, it's kind of an older video, but hopefully in the future we'll have a new video up for some more Marvel theories coming soon. I keep getting this weird like bot here. Anyways, okay. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let's talk about it down in the comments about what could come next from Marvel. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being here in the chat. If you're watching the VOD, we'll see you very soon for some watch parties here on the channel. Stay tuned for live streams. Thanks for all the support here on the channel. It means a lot. Thank you so much. Have a great evening, and we'll see you all very soon.